Well, hi, friends. This is Kip Geltz. I'm the assistant to the bishop, and I've got with me Godfrey Hubert, who is our Texas Annual Conference Disaster Readiness Coordinator, and Sonia Myers, the Director of Community Engagement for Hope Disaster Recovery. We're going to talk a little bit about the do's and don'ts of responding to folks in need as a result of Winter Storm 2021. So, Godfrey, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you take it away.
Well, thank you so very much. The first thing I want to share with you is that we all want to help as much as we can, especially those who cannot help themselves. And so we do have a preparedness program called Texas Congregation Disaster Readiness. That is the program that we use for coordinating it. But this disaster has affected the entire state of Texas. 29 million people are affected. It is only the second statewide declaration ever, and the first one was last year with COVID. And so we're telling everyone that recovery is going to most definitely have to be local. We're not going to be able to centralize the response and manage it from the distance. You're going to, every one of us will have to work in our own communities, coordinating with each other and with our authorities on how best to help our communities. And so the time to respond, we're dividing it in the next week or two, and then the more long-term recovery. Most immediately, I think what congregations can focus on is compassionate care, helping members in a community and in your congregation to get the emotional and spiritual care they need. You can do that through the phone. You can do it by canvassing in a COVID safe way and go walking to neighborhoods and just offering encouragement. Additionally, compassionate care also needs to have some information which you need to make sure that your folks have that they can pass on to people. How do they ask for help? Where do they get resources? What should they do, such as insurance, calling their insurance adjusters, and so on. So, any way you can help people with all of this, that is helpful. The next thing that we can do is physically help people. It's probably by now, most people have already shut off their water if they've thawed out and they've found leaks. If not, helping turn on the water or shutting it off or turning it on in a safe way. And we do have instructions, and you can also find those online. Google is wonderful for that, how to safely turn the water back on so that you don't do more damage. Before we help anybody clean up, we need to make sure that they own the home. We can help them clean up if they own the home, but not make any repairs if it's a rental. We also need permission to do so, and I encourage everyone get written permission to go inside their home and help them, unless you know them, of course, and they're members of your church. Uh, Make sure that all the documentation is there that the insurance company will require, such as uh, photographs of all the damage and a written account of all the things that were lost in the event. Help elderly folks contact their insurance companies and so on. The rule number one for all of us as we're trying to help is Wesley's rule: do no harm. Let's not do any more damage than what they've already suffered. If you're trained in mucking and gutting, please know that this is different from a flood. We are not dealing with contaminated water, so we don't have to remove all the contents of the house that got wet. There will be things that can be salvaged. Just because they're wet, they may be able to be dried out. Um, do not remove sheetrock for the time being unless it is already falling or damaged. Leave sheetrock that's wet but is still in place where it is, because mold is not a major issue right now. Before it gets hot, it usually begins to grow at about 77 degrees. So encourage homeowners to keep the temperature, their thermostats low to avoid mold. But right now, we don't want to open up ceilings and then they lose all the heat from the house and are not able to heat themselves in case there's another freeze. So, just go easy. In this regard, less is more. Um, After this next week or two, we're going to get into training of how training volunteers on how to repair pipes, and we're working on that right now. And we're also looking for plumbers who may be retired or want to do some mission work that are willing to be supervisors or even technical advisors online for the volunteers on the field that are doing work. So we would love to have you, if you know of plumbers that would like to be of that help, to let us know. And so going forward, we're going to provide the training for this, and then we need to find the homes that still need repairs. In most cases, homeowners insurance will cover all the damage. They should. And so what we encourage is the repair work to be focused, the repair work of volunteers to be focused on the most vulnerable communities where they most likely do not have homeowners insurance to cover it, or they cannot afford the deductible. And so that's where we really encourage our congregations to focus on the most vulnerable communities. How to report damages. There is a statewide hotline, and we're asking every single person that needs assistance to go call 844-965-1386 and report your damage, and then you'll be in that database. And any organization that is in the disaster business can go and take addresses from a certain zip code where they're working, and then they will go and do repairs. If your church would like to do repairs, we can go on crisis cleanup, pull out some addresses from zip codes where you're operating and pass them on to you, as long as you're sure to follow up and to make those repairs. Then if you would like to volunteer, and you have folks that's saying, how can I be of help? And they're raising their hands, what you want to do is email Christine Riggle at criggle at txcumc.org, and let her know that you have folks who are willing and able to help others beyond their immediate community. And so please also ask everyone to communicate to the authorities any scams that are out there, because the elderly folks are being taken advantage of, and there's some very clever scams going on right now. And so if if you have questions, any way we can help, please contact Sonia or Christine, and they'll be able to get in touch with me very quickly, and I'll return a call and help you in any way I can as you're coordinating your local relief and recovery.
Thank you, Godfrey, and thank you, Sonia. I know that you have a lot of questions. I know tomorrow is Sunday. A lot of you are going to be speaking to your church about what's going on in your community. So just to reiterate, first of all, this is all found on our conference webpage, txcumc.org. There is a page there for Winter Storm 2021, and you'll see all of our information on there. How to get help is the crisis cleanup hotline. How to give help is Christine Riggle. You just let her know you're ready to sign up. She'll connect you with the right people. And then how to give donations. There's going to be some costs involved for those who are offering the care. And so Texas Conference is collecting that right now. And there's a live link on our website for that. And of course, your church can collect that as a communion offering or an offering of any sort of special offering, and send that to the Conference Center, 5215 Main Street in Houston, Texas, 77002. So I want to thank you all for your leadership and for taking a good part of your Saturday to do this. We've got a 1-hour webinar that's going to be lifted up on our webpage, and you'll be able to follow the whole conversation there with Sonia and Godfrey, and also Trevor Barnett and the bishop were on that call as well. So anything else that y'all have?
I just wanted to say that there are more damaged homes from this storm than there were from Harvey. The damage is not as extensive per home, but there are many, many more homes damaged. About 60% of the homes in an informal survey found 60% of the homes have some damage.
Yes.
So we need money and we need help. We're going to have to work hard.
All right. TXCUMC.org. Go there and find out how you can help. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye now.